Okay, cool. It's too late. You were taking too long, so I tried to hold on.
Okay. Let's go again. Okay, cool.
Now I'm ready.
Okay, week 2 challenge. Okay, so what do we got today?
You're gonna learn how to deadlift. You look so hyped.
Cool.
It's not gonna be as hard as last week. We're just learning the movement. So there's like a million different types of deadlifts. I pretty much always start people out on a kettlebell one. It's just the easiest way to learn while reducing your risk of injury. I have a deadlift spiel that I tell people. You get the spiel. So I always tell people that if they can only ever do one exercise for the rest of their life, it should be a deadlift. It's gonna hit pretty much every major muscle group in your body. It helps train your central nervous system. It covers so many different things. But there are a lot of people out there, most of who are like, deadlifting's bad for you. You shouldn't deadlift. It's super unsafe. It can be if you are stupid about it. Pretty much everyone I know who deadlifts heavy, myself included, has injured themselves because they were doing things they shouldn't have been doing. So learn from my mistakes. And the main thing is just making sure that you're not lifting more than you should be. I always tell people don't lift with your ego. Just keep to an appropriate weight, and then focus on technique. Should always be first and foremost anyway, but especially with a deadlift because the risk of injury can be decently high. But if you do it correctly, best exercise you'll do. And the next thing about deadlifting is that it'll kind of tell you if you're fucking it up, because if you do it correctly, it'll actually be easier. It's one of the exercises where good form makes the movement easier because it makes it more efficient. So we're talking about the kettlebell. This is going to be basically a variation called the sumo deadlift. I don't think I've ever seen a variation. Yes, that's exactly this. Yeah, and you'll see when you see people do this heavy, they're like, they do like this. I'm gonna slide into these splits because I have sandals on. But that's essentially what it is. But essentially all sumo means is a little wider stance if you're gripping between your feet instead of a conventional which way you're gripping hands up. But they're all good. Oh yeah, there's so many kinds of deadlifts and they're all fantastic. But for today we're gonna do sumo because it's a little bit easier to learn. I want to keep the weight or whatever I'm moving in line with my center of gravity. So I usually tell people if I was wearing shoelaces, I want to keep the bar, or in this case the kettlebell handle, in line with where my shoelaces would be. Some people are very adamant that like if you're doing a barbell deadlift, it should scrape your shins. It's kind of like an old school powerlifter philosophy. You don't have to have it scrape your shins, but it should be close to your body. It's like if you try to pick up a box and it's far away, it's gonna be harder than if you're up close to it. So feet are about a little bit past shoulder width apart, just find something that's comfortable. Weight is gonna be pretty much lined up with where my shoelaces would be. And the biggest thing with the deadlift is that it's a hip hinge. A lot of people turn it into a squat. A squat is where your hips come down. A hinge is where your hips come back. So my hips will come down a little bit, but the primary motion is I should be hinging from my hips. My back should be straight. My chest should be up relative to my body. So I like to say if I have writing on my shirt, I should be able to see the writing on my shirt the entire time. So my hips hinge back. As far as they can comfortably go, my weight's gonna be pretty even, but mostly balanced in my heels. Once my hips can't go back any farther, that's where I'm going to squat down. And I like to, I remember I showed you the bumper plates last week. That's why I like to have people learn on bumper plates because it does raise it up a little bit. This is a little bit low. It's still good, but typically I want to have the weight kind of hitting about mid-shin. So it's a couple inches low, so you will need to kind of squat down a little bit on this. But I'm gonna hinge back until I can reach the weight. My chest is up, my shoulders are pinched. I'm always keeping my shoulder blades squeezed together. From here, I'm gonna press up through my legs. I want to think about squeezing my butt and locking my shoulder blades together at the top. I'm not overextending my hips. I'm just kind of coming up and keeping everything engaged. As I come back down, should be the exact same motion. The weight should end up in the exact same place. So my hips reach back, my back stays straight, chest stays up, shoulders stay back. I grab and I press through the weight. When people talk about like lifting through their legs and not with their back, this is what they mean. They just don't know that that's what they mean. So as I'm picking it up, I'm not trying to lift my arms, my upper body is pretty much just there to stabilize and attach me to the weight. But I'm thinking about pressing the floor down, not picking the weight up. So I attach myself to the weight, I press down through my legs, I squeeze my butt, lock my shoulder blades together, sit my hips back down, to come on down. Make sense?
Excellent.
Cool. Your turn.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Shuffle.
Okay.
Don't need tendons.
These tenants work out here.
Hey, literally looking like, come on. Yeah. No, that's great. Here you go. Good. And then from here, you're down.
I think I might sumo this.
Good.
Okay. That's how we're gonna do this from now on.
And then I shove you, and then that's sumo. I don't know how to do sumo wrestling. One combat sport I know nothing about. There you go.
So,
Okay. And you're thinking about trying to bump your butt back, like you're trying to bump it. Yep, chest up small. Good, and then just go. Think like bend and snap. There you go. Nice, good. So at the top here, when you think about keeping your shoulders low, pinching them back. Yeah, good. And you're gonna kind of pinch your butt cheeks at the top. Ta-da!
a lot of going on with my butt cheeks every single time.
Yeah.
And so
Yes, your booty cheeks should play a very significant role in weightlifting. Okay, if your booty cheeks are involved, you're not doing that right.
Okay, we'll go back.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. So it's a little bit far away, right? And you might still yeah, and it's not so far that I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna hurt yourself. But essentially, err on the side of it being too close and too far away. You almost can't even have it too close. You might be a little bit more comfortable with a slightly narrower stance. Sumo just means wider than hip width. It doesn't have to be like, I'm ready.
Took it too far. Power roll.
What? I would never, dude, I would never make that mistake. Yeah, let's do 5 of these. So pause it there real quick.
Yeah.
So I want you to think, instead of not coming down, yeah, so how you set up for the deadlift is gonna be important, right? I don't wanna just reach down and grab it. I want to break from the hips and fold forward. Yeah, and your knees are just bending enough to kind of follow along.
Like this?
Yeah. Press through your legs, good. Next. And sit your butt straight back to the wall.
Where am I looking?
You're keeping your neck neutral. So essentially when you're facing the ground, you should be looking at the ground. When you're standing up, you should be looking at your head.
Just go again?
Okay. Next, shoulders pinch at the top. There we go, good. Oh, oh, good. Hips reach back. Just like standing here, 2 thumbs up. It's not weird at all. I don't know why I was doing that. Good. Overall, it looks really good. I don't see anything where I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna get injured. I wouldn't necessarily increase weight yet. I would want to be a little bit more comfortable with that motion just because you are still upper body dominant in it, which is normal. Everybody thinks that we have 2 ways we can fold forward, right? We can reach our shoulders forward or we can hinge our hips back. So strong. Upper body. Right? So right now, most of the time, again, people talk about lifting through their legs, not through your back, but everybody lifts with their back anyway. Or they use their upper body to pull things. So it's very normal to try to be like, and grab it. The more you can think about your upper body's just there to look pretty. It's just like, I'm doing my part, like that's your upper body. And your legs are literally doing the heavy lifting. Hinging, squat down a little bit if you need to, right? I don't want to squat so much that my knees start to shift forward. Depending on the scenario, your shins incline forward is okay. It just depends on your body type and the extent of it. But I don't want to go into like a full squat where my knees are kind of like reaching toward my toes. Okay, I want to try and go here, and then if I just squat down a little bit, that's okay. Because right now you're getting so much here, and then your upper body is kind of like this, where it's almost perfectly straight instead of dropping down. Which again is not wrong, it's just a slightly different kind of deadlift.
Drop back a little.
Yeah, think about like, I like to think about sitting my butt back and sitting down into a chair. Sitting my butt back and then down. It's like it's like you're trying to sit onto a bench like you don't know how to sit onto a bench. You're like, is this how you sit down? I don't know. Like, pretend you're bad at sitting and that's how you do that. Alright, let's do it. 5 more. Yeah, that's the most important part. If you don't get that, you're wasting your time. Wait, your friend. Good, that's 2. Love it. How do you check it? we're reasonably serious. Two more. We're gonna do one more set of that. Yes, perfect. You need just to see it play like it was earlier.
Was it?
It was. While you were setting the camera, I was just like.
The elevator used to play 90s, so a lot of it's like. We just write it up now.
I'm good with that. I can do that. Okay, so only thing I want you to adjust for this last one is what you're doing at the end, where you're keeping your shoulders pinched as you come down. Try it again. As you come down, you're naturally going to lose a little bit of a pinch to your shoulder. That's totally okay. But I want you to try and keep as much of a lock in your shoulders as you can as you come down, because that'll keep that weight close to your body versus here. See the difference? All I'm doing is, think about it, the entire time you should be trying to pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Don't make that face. I'll stop. I told you, I'll stop using these cues when they stop working. Alright? Alright. Last one. So good. Flawless technique. Come on. Somewhere out there, some sumo wrestlers are like, no.
I'm just offended the whole.
It's just like, you just offended like the entire nation of Japan. They're like, you have no.
You know, it's a risk I take. Short arms are not doing me any favors.
Sure, actually can be a benefit.
Really?
No.
You know what? I'm gonna do my damn lips.
You're channeling your best like fractal or just trying to front on something. You already have the hat sunglasses on, so yeah, there you're perfect. It's like, you wanna fucking go! That's deadlifting. Am I the best lifting teacher or the worst lifting teacher? Good shoulder pinch a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Then straight back. Nice. Boom. So that's the basics of deadlifting. Like I said, the range of motion is a little bit exaggerated because the weight is a little bit lower. But otherwise, that's essentially it. Chest is up, back straight, shoulder to pinch, and we are hinging from our hips, kind of like those little like bird things that like dip into the water. That's what we're. So deadlifting is boop boop. I don't know how to sit and then bird.
Okay.
Deadlifting. Good job. Challenge completed. Wow. God, that was insane. I'm really strong. Wait, is this green or is this like chartreuse?
It's green and dirt.
Gross it is.
Alright, cool. So, today I'm gonna have you meditate. Let's do this again. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so today I'm gonna have you meditate.
Okay.
You meditate a lot?
I don't anymore. I used to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So everybody does it kind of differently, you know. There are a lot of people with a lot of thoughts about it. For me, it's not so serious.
What?
Because
This doesn't sound like you.
seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
To take it so seriously. So I have you take your shoes off. Find a little bit of a comfy position without putting one leg on top of another. I like to put one foot in front of the other. You can't do me. Yeah. That like kind of puts it in a typical, yeah.
Is this how you meditate?
However you feel comfortable, right?
Like this. Today
Okay.
we're meditating.
Okay. So one of the things that I like to do is kind of lean one way and kind of hold my thigh and rotate it this way. And just lean towards me. So your butt cheek comes off.
Okay.
Rotate the thigh a little bit and then sit back down. And now you gotta do the other side.
See something with the boot. I think I unrolled
Yes,
my other one. Wait, which way am I rolling it?
Do that the other way. What you're trying to do is basically kind of spread your sit bones a little bit.
But butt cheeks.
I mean, yes. Essentially.
You made it sound weird or less weird, but
Yeah, I mean, thanks for bringing it back to.
always about the booty cheeks.
Okay, so basically, there are times when I meditate for like a few minutes, and there are times that I'll meditate half an hour to an hour, and eventually it becomes really difficult to sit
Mhm.
for that long, right?
I see.
Especially on your back, when you have a bad back. But so once you kind of, yes, spread your butt cheeks, but essentially what you're really trying to do is rotate out your sit bones a little bit so that you have a wider base to sit on,
Okay.
and it's less impact on the back.
Okay, that makes
Right,
sense.
kind of sit there for long. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna have you use my favorite beads.
Ooh.
Cool. And so what you're gonna do is basically just breathe as you're rolling each seed through your with your thumb.
Okay.
Cool. And you're just gonna inhale, exhale. You don't have to do it super deep. And just kind of go at a comfortable pace to start. And what I want you to do is, as you go through like maybe 10 or 15, wherever you kind of feel pretty settled in, comfy, to start slowing it down a little bit.
Okay.
And slow down the counting of the beat basically. You can count if you want, you can just roll it and just kind of sync your breath to the movement on your thumb.
I see. Okay.
Cool. And the only rule to this is no judgment, no self-judgment, right? Because the idea is basically for me to slow down my breathing, which in turn kind of slows down my heart rate. And when I generally do it right, I actually feel like there's like almost like cold water trickling down my head.
Okay.
My back, like everything sort of cools down and I feel a lot calmer. And you could, probably not, but basically you're gonna slow down your breathing, and sometimes you're gonna start breathing a little bit faster, and that's when you're probably gonna want to drive yourself, And the idea for me is never to clear your mind, it's to make space for your mind to do whatever it is it wants to do. So you might be thinking about what you have coming up, or things that you're working on, etc. Whatever's important, it's just gonna come up on its own. Right? All you're doing is breathing and trying to keep it moving slower and slower as you go.
Okay.
You just sync it to your hand. This just gives you something to kind of yeah.
What if I judge that I'm really good at meditating?
That's cool.
Okay.
No negative judgment.
Alright,
No, timid. A lot of times you'll see like you'll be like, oh, I can't meditate because I just start thinking about things. I can't clear my mind when you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Your mind clears, you're dead.
Yeah. That's not possible.
It's just not possible, right? So I'm gonna set a 5-minute timer.
Okay.
And you just get comfy sitting.
Cool.
I mean,
This is literally the only.
it's cool. What you gotta do, I just don't want you to, because I know, this is a lot of pressure on your back.
Yeah.
Cool. You ready?
Yep. And I'm just kind of like, as I breathe, just moving the beads a little bit.
Move towards you.
Cool.
Pull it towards you.
Yep. Like that.
Yep. One at a time. One at a time. Yep.
Cool. Okay.
Here we go. are. How is it?
I feel very relaxed.
Yeah. This is like, have you used beads or some kind of?
No, nothing. I've done like, like feeling your weight with where you're sitting and like kind of like that kind of stuff, but never anything like told or anything like that.
Find that it's different.
Yeah, it was nice to, like, especially for me, because my brain is just like, to have something to kind of like help me focus on not focusing, if that makes sense.
It's like a grounding thing. Right?
Yeah.
Because if I tell myself to slow down my breathing, I feel like I'm judging myself. But if I'm just like, oh, slow down,
Yeah.
then it, because it's synced up, like for me, that's like one of the.
Yeah, and that definitely helps to like kind of keep a good rhythm going and like keep breathing. You're all, gotta breathe fast.
I do that.
Just
One of my favorite things to do is like when I used to walk through New York City, I would just like walk
Yeah.
and meditate while I'm walking through all the noise, and that really helps me. You know, there's like
Yeah.
a pace to like my walking. Right?
Yeah.
But then sometimes I'll start going so fast that I'm sweating, right? And I'm just like, now I'm like, okay, you gotta slow down.
I'm like, bro, I think got away from you a little bit there, dude.
I know. So having something to
I like that. Yeah, that was definitely very helpful.
cool.
Like by the end, I'm just like, I'm falling asleep away.
Excellent. Challenge complete.
Challenge completed.
Oh my god, we're doing it.
Are we doing this one?
Oh my god, are we doing it? We're doing it.
Were you afraid of my high five again?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's fair. I'm really strong.
Okay, cool. See you next week. Are you okay?
We gotta keep that part in of us struggling to get back up.
Are you